listen to, so this is our Thursday morning, well, mastermind call. So Thursday afternoon. So I'll have to just say Thursday mastermind call because we have so many different people in different time zones, you know. So I'm so happy that you guys have taken out of your busy schedule to join us because there's so much going on each and every day. And even with our company, I was able to catch Dwayne and Clint and Elizabeth corporate corner that they do on Thursdays. And of course, they talked about, and you guys can go hear it yourself, but they did talk about the fact that the company, because next week is Thanksgiving. Can you imagine? Next week is Thanksgiving 2023. The year just kind of flew by, but a lot of great things happened in the year, and we're so excited about that. But they're going to close early on Wednesday, so if you have any support tickets, they won't get answered until Monday. So the company is closing down for everyone to spend time with their family, enjoy the holidays. And I think that is really great too. And so, and also you want to go ahead and get those people reactivated, even the ones that have canceled. Go ahead and get them reactivated. They won't have to pay another monthly fee until February. So man, that's just great. So kudos to people who are out there looking for a gift, because I think that is a great holiday gift, or even to give yourself, to reactivate your business and get going again, not having to have another monthly payment until February. I think that is so exciting. So they talked about that. That's on the little reactivation notice. And of course, Clint just gave about 10, really 11 people that are on track to receive the $1,600 for their room being reimbursed for the trip that's coming up in March. And that's going to come up pretty quickly. And so it's just so many great things going on. And of course, they talked about that. And Dwayne, he always ends with a quote. And you all who watch it know that he does. And he talked about Maya Angelou and how her saying was, if you do not like the situation that you're in, change it. And then for some reason, if you can't change it, change your attitude towards it, because it's always up to us on how we receive things, you know. And that's why I love Caroline Leaf, you know, how she talks about the mind, how powerful the mind is. There's so many things out there on social media on your attitude adjustment and how you can have this and this depending on how you think about things. So me, myself, I make it a daily habit to think positive about my home and where it's going to be located and what area I want it to be in. I think about that on a daily basis. I write it down. I'm going to start, I write it in my journal here and there, but I'm getting ready to start a paragraph or a couple of lines every time I write in my journal with a statement on the positive of that home that we want. And also, Rick reminded me the other day that we have to make sure, even though when someone does something we don't like, we don't agree with, we still have to find the positive in the fact that whatever that is. So that comes down to, if there's something that you don't like, then change your attitude towards it. Because a lot of times we would love to change people. We would love to change so many things. But if it's out of your control, I mean, that's even part of the Alcohol Anonymous Serenity Prayer. And it's something about help me to accept the things that I cannot change, or something like that along the line. I've watched enough movies to hear it over and over again. And then it's something that you can Google if you want the exact words. But it is to accept the things that I cannot change, and just realize that, just change your attitude on it. So I said, okay, so I cannot change this person. I cannot change that situation, but I can change what I say and how I say, and just realizing that I affect myself with negative things that I say. So remembering to just find the good. And it's almost like finding the good in everything because there's good in everything. I mean, even people who do things that you don't like and you're trying to figure out why did they do that, there's a good there somewhere. So I think if we look for the good and we remember that, we have to keep that positive attitude in everything because we might think just because we're positive over on this side, we're positive on this side, and then that some person does something, and it's like that person, da 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 da. That's the negativity that's still in your life.
And that's
So
true.
remembering to, yeah, so just remembering to keep everything positive. Just keep everything positive. And if you can't, and look like my grandmother used to say, and if you can't say something good, don't say something at all. So
But
so
here's
just
why.
remember.
Here's why, excuse me, because, oh, let me put my mic up here. Because nothing anybody else does actually has an impact on you unless you make the connection. And based on your comment, you draw a line of connection. Excuse me. And sometimes you just don't want to do that. Well, most times you just don't want to do that. And because you're running your own show, and interestingly enough, like you were saying the other day, Brenda, that God is running this thing. We're doing almost nothing. you know, He's running the show. He is absolutely running the show. If you'll notice, the things that happen are not necessarily the things that are tied to what you are doing. God is just taking you on a timeline and things are happening in his, let me let this person in. Things are happening in his time frame, in his will, according to all that he has already promised. And we're just walking it out. And so to make a connection to someone that may be negative, someone that you may even perceive to be negative, someone that you stretch to even think is negative, don't make the connection, and you can stay free and continue to move forward. Whenever you make a connection, it actually pulls you back to where they are, out of the place that you currently are in going forward. And one of the other things that I was just thinking about is that congratulations to Glenn and Chantel for hitting $1,000 bonus. Come on now. Congratulations to Rick and Brenda for hitting that $1,000 bonus. Come on now. Not that we get desensitized to the $1,000 bonus, but we're looking for the $10,000 bonus, the $25,000 bonus, the $50,000 bonus. The checks are there waiting for us. You do this and you get that. And the company has never missed a check that's due you. Now, that's huge. That is huge. And one of the things that I was thinking about is what we're doing is worth the time. The time that we're putting in right now, that we've put in, it's worth it. Why is that? Because everybody that we know is going to come to the place where they actually need to do something in addition to what they were doing. They're on a timeline. There's a shelf life. Their time is running out. The clock is ticking. And I was reading a quote the other day. It says, be decisive or time will make the decision for you. People have to do something in their lives at some point. Why not now? Otherwise, they're going to find themselves stuck in a situation, in a world that doesn't care if they have not prepared. We didn't know 2008 and the shift in the economy was going to happen. We didn't know COVID was going to happen. A lot of things in life you don't know are going to happen. But thank God we made a commitment in 2004, 2005 to do something that would bring in residual income and additional income. Not knowing 2008 was going to happen, not knowing all the things that happened even with YTB, the previous company, was going to happen, not knowing that the pandemic was going to happen. We have to prepare today for tomorrow. And like you say sometimes, Brenda, you can't be ready to get ready. You gotta be ready. And so if you look around and you look at all your friends and they're saying no and this, that, and the other, indecisiveness, they will have to make a decision one day. The track record of how employers treat older people, right? There is a track record. At some point, they will be let go. At some point, their lifestyle will be cut in half, if not less, if they don't do something different. Back to you, Brenda. Are you on mute?
Hello, Rick.
Yeah, I was on
Go ahead,
mute. Go
Glenn.
ahead, Glenn.
You know, we've been sounding the alarm for a long time now, for years, and people just are not. I mean, you are right on point. And every day you get the warning signs are there. We're screaming it from the top of the mountains, and folks are going to wake up, or it's not gonna go well for them. I was just looking, and new trend now for those that keep up with world events because they are relevant is that the billionaires are buying up all of the farmland. And, the warnings are going out, but people are just not responding. So we continue to press forward to those who have an ear to hear. And there's going to be enough of us. The warning has become sufficient off of the system, or you're going to become you're going to become absorbed by it if you are going to survive. So the urgency is greater than ever. Back to you, Rick.
That is so true. That is so true. Even with Brenda and I making a decision in our fruitful years to move to Charleston, and the decisions that we made back in 2004, empowering and enabling us to be mobile today, to have the mobility to move, to shift, to do, and to take our profession with us, and because it's travel. And that's why that's why I love what you do, Darlene, and all you do in travel, and the professional that you are in travel. That's a skill set. That's a skill set. And a good friend of mine who's passed away, he says, on your job you learn skills, and that can help you, to do anything else that you want to do. All those professional skills that we learned on our jobs and the things that we did, apply to travel and wherever you want to use it. Or even like us coming down here to Charleston, my friend saying, hey, we want you to help us do this, do this, do this with the VA, with the vets. All of these skills, including skills that I acquired in travel, gives me a background, a foundation, a knowledge. There is no wasted effort. There is no wasted activity. There is no wasted knowledge. Seize the moment. Learn as much as you can. This lady called me yesterday and she says, Rick, I'm ready to get signed up. I'm like, really? When would you like to do that? Right now. I'm like, okay. And I had prayed on that. I said, Father, we're one away from $1,000 bonus. Go ahead and go ahead and do that. Take care of that. And I said that like 2 days ago, and she sure did. She called me up. She says, Rick, I'm at a fish fry or some kind of seafood something. It's almost like, yeah, seafood place and restaurant. And she said, I'm waiting for my food. But she says, I've made a decision, and I'm ready to get going. And so before my food even comes, I want you to go ahead and get me signed up. And I'm so excited. I'm going to tell my family. I'm going to, just so excited. Build it and they will come. Learn it, become it, and they will come. Back to you, Brenda.
Hey, Rick, just so everybody understands what I was saying, uh, the one who owns whatever it is gets to call the shots on it. I mean, we know that, God is ultimately in charge. But the one who, you see these signs that say, we buy ugly houses. There is a grab. Commercial properties, they're being bought up by uh, a minority, a super minority who desires to control everything and everyone. This is huge, and you can see with the shortages that are happening now. People are still waiting for the auto industry to come back. It's not coming back, but it was a strategy from the beginning, and it's just a fact. It's just a dream was not meant really to be a dream for you. It was setting somebody else up at your expense, your labor, until they could get where they wanted. Then off they go, and you're left hanging. So it's really important that people, we find we continue to sound the warning, but to continue on to reach out to those whose eyes are open, unplugged from the matrix, as I call it. Back to you, Brenda.
I was just going to say, how many people was looking at Noah build the ark and laughing at him, and but Noah was aware. We are aware, and people just, like you said, where Noah sounded, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. You need to be ready. And they laughed and they laughed and they laughed. Well, we are the Noahs of this day. And it's so important that we don't listen to the noise of the naysayers, who are the chuckles of the naysayers, but that we get to higher ground, and those who can see to come with you. You don't control that. They see you. It's amazing how people can see you. And that's something that may happen over time. Like, I've been working with this lady, man, huh, Brenda, for how many, maybe 3 years. And finally, I didn't get upset or anything like that. You can't get mad at people if they can't see. And finally, she sees. And immediately she moves. Back to you, Brenda.
Rick, this is Darlene.
Yeah,
just wanted
go
to
ahead.
say that on that, having somebody, now I've known this one person for I've talked to her probably about the last 4 or 5 years about joining up. And so she calls me this morning and says, "What are you doing today?" And I said, "Well, I have my Zoom at 10. I said, and then after that, I'm going to get on the phone. I got to find out where my commissions are. I had to call certain places and find out." She says, "I need to get into that. I need some extra money coming in." And of me, I didn't respond to it. I didn't, try to coach her or anything. But this is the thing, she's looking, and I'm just waiting for her to say, "I want to be signed up," because she's retired just like me, and she needs extra money. And she says, "I need to get some extra money coming in." She said, "I need to do something like what you're doing." And I just kept talking to her, and then I changed the subject. I'm waiting for her to come across. So yeah, you just have to wait until it's their time. So
What's beautiful about
That's,
I'm sorry, Brent. There is
go
something
ahead.
happening. There is something happening. I believe Malcolm Gladwell, in his book Outliers, that your wealth is created when the masses get it, and we're hitting this kind of Holy Ghost rhythm. It's no coincidence, that Glenn and Chantel hit a bonus, Brenda and I hit a bonus, and the lady that joined Glenn and Chantel's team by just looking at what they was doing on Facebook. There's something happening. Make sure you're praying that you participate. You actually start participating in your prayers. That's how you make the connection in your prayers. Like what you were saying, you don't have to chase people. You don't have to comment to them, whatever. Like you were saying, Darlene, she's going to start, God will start giving her an awakening and an understanding. Our job is to pray. And like Brenda was saying on the home that we're going to get, that on the waterfront and all the things that she sees in the vision. Your vision is a preview of life's coming attractions. Write it down. Say it. People come to me. People chase me down. My team is expanding. People of like-mindedness are finding me. They're approaching me. Write down what you want and watch what happens. They will start coming to you. They will start seeing you. We start progressing when people can see us in the spirit first. And there's a beckoning. There's a call that kind of goes out in the spirit. Make sure your call is going out in the spirit. Lord, tell him what you want. Command ye my hand, and watch what happens. And be aware to watch what's going on. Watch the circumstances you start getting involved with. Watch the people who start to all of a sudden see you, and are ready. That's not by coincidence. That's by demand. Father, you promised me. You promised me the blessings. The blessings of Abraham are mine. Lord, move with the quickness. And when you start praying that way, watch out, get ready. Back to you, Brendan.
Hey, Rick.
I was listening. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Rick.
Oh, Ed. Mm-hmm.
It's funny that people don't change until their situation does. Until their situation forces them to shift either perspective or habits. It's true. I mean, we're creatures of habit, and our situations create the habits. So you just sit back and watch, and you can't say that the field is right. Like the word says, the field's ready, the workers are few. The field is right because everyone's been touched by the past couple of years. There's no one, unless you're super rich, that's been sheltered. The average person that wasn't sheltered from the things that transpired during the pandemic, both financially and health-wise, the whole nine. Everywhere, everyone was touched. So we're all changed from the last couple of years. So it's a whole mindset shift. Now people are looking for answers. People are looking because everyone, the whole planet's situation shifted. And so we're here with a course correction, that'll benefit them for generations. So those who are looking for it and looking for a way out of so-called rat race or a way to stabilize themselves in the coming changes of the economy, they're coming this way. And all we have to do is just be ready to receive them. Even John the Baptist, he faithfully, every day, looking like a madman, faithfully ministered to those who were looking. And only those who saw him because they were looking, saw him and came to him and received the message. Others just passed by and said, this crazy man. But little did they know he was speaking the truth and speaking of what was coming. And those that heard prepared. Those that didn't went on their way, and they still went on their way. That's no concern of ours. Ours is we're messengers of hope. So what does the messenger do? Here's your message. Have a nice day. And go on to the next one. Those who are looking for hope will see you and cling to you and follow you. Those who aren't, won't. It's not my call. It's not my business. My business is to give this message of hope. There's a way out if you're looking for it. If you're not, have a nice day. Keep it moving. Just to encourage everybody. Continue to grow. We're seeing results. Congratulations, Glenn. Congratulations, Chantel. Congratulations, Rick. Congratulations, Brenda. We're all part of this family, so ours is coming too, without a doubt.
It's true.
Just keep going.
And what you're saying is so true. And I know Glenn and Chantel and I know Brenda and I, it's just being consistent. And many of our bonuses, and we had talked about this before, hit on a cycle. And we're just kind of synced up, right? It's not a mystery why Glenn and Chantel hit a bonus and Brendan and I hit a bonus. We're in a cycle, and then that cycle may be over months. That cycle may be a year. It's riding where the economy is. It's riding where individual people are, and like you said, the habits. We've got a habit of success in Surge 365. What is that habit of success? It's belief, it's hope, it's prayers, it's needs. The money will come based on needs. Money comes on demand. It's demand to a need. It's God doing something. But we're in that flow of a cycle. And I love what you said, Ed. People don't change until their situation changes. And I believe what is beginning to happen, like you were saying, Glenn, people's situations are changing. And like you were saying, Darlene, people, all of a sudden somebody may say, you know what, I need to make some extra income. Habits change. Like you said, Ed, habits change when situations change. And what we're doing, like you said, we're messengers of hope, to let people know when your situation changes. And we don't even have to say anything. We're just there. Come see me when your situation changes, when your awareness changes, when you're looking for something changes. But we have to continue to grow. We can't stop on the road and start walking backwards to catch up with the people going back. We got to keep moving forward. Back to you, Ren.
Hey,
Oh,
Rick.
by
You
the
know what?
way, somebody overrides bonuses.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
right.
thank you. Man, we didn't make no $1,000 bonus. We made 1,100 or something. You see how we forget all that
That's
stuff.
true. You know what?
This
You know
is
what?
getting
I'm hoping.
wild.
What's that?
Hello, leaders all over the world. Hello. I'm sitting out here chilling in the park. Anybody see me over here just sitting on this bench? Just had a wonderful breakfast. Came from the physical therapy today. And before I walked out the door, I was just sharing with my receptionist here. Her name is Adrian. I said, I have another Adrian. And then I started telling her a little bit about Adrian. And she said, tell me more. And so I did. She said, can you send me that information today? That sounds like fun. And I want to get paid to do some of this stuff too. Send me and put her number right on in my phone. So yes, sir, I did. And so it is all about, I heard this the other day because I wasn't even looking for it. I was not seeking it. I wasn't talking about it within myself, but I heard this right here. Director is your decision. A couple of years ago when it came, I was sitting in the house, wasn't looking for it then. And I heard one word, early in the morning, director. Wrote it down in my journal. I said, okay. Wasn't running towards it. It was just, okay, that's all I said, right? When you get ready, like those bonuses that's sitting right here, right now, like today, if that's your desire for real, your real desire, because that is definitely what's wrote, you know what? I got up there and we were talking and we're getting ready to do some legacy things with our family, our children's, and they're bad to the bone. And I'm telling you, we're building this legacy with our children, and it just fires me up because we're pushing our way through stuff. See, when you really get ready to start receiving some of this, you got to push through some stuff. You're going to have, I'm going to tell you what, opposition showed up so fast. I said, I see you, get your butt out of here. I mean, before the first thought, there was the opposition. I said, oh, but I see you this time. You are so defeated, and started laughing. I said, because once you face that and move that on out your way, it's a done deal. It's like, let's roll. Let's help some more people get through this, because to get to the levels and the step, you have to face that opposition. There's a giant in the room. Are you going to let the giant run you out every time you get ready to start building? This joker's going to try to show up in the room and start pushing on you. I said, not today. We are coming through here, and you guess what? Edward and all the rest of these that's sitting here, it was sitting at a $500 bonus. I said, I claim that right there. I claim that one, Deborah. Yes, and anybody else that wants yours, our hands are up, leaders. Everybody in here is a leader. The timing is up to you, but all of us here are leaders. We just have to make a decision, say, you know what? I know 3 people that travel. Why can't they travel with me? That's all it is. The lady that got started the other night who was in our company, I think she was with 2019, the Vortex Platinum package. I was like, this is getting crazy up in here. She hit that sign up that night, and I looked in there, and there was a point. I said, you know what? I got to go back in here and look at this comp plan. I told Glenn, I said, whoa, we are sitting at a point. We were sitting at a $500 sale. But when I saw that point dropping, I said, what? Are you serious? There is so much money in here that you forget where everything's sitting. But it's exciting because all we got to do is keep sharing this opportunity with somebody. And they're going to say, you know what? It may be later. It may be today. It may be whenever. But when they make their decision, they're going to come back. And they're going to run you down, Darlene, and all the rest of the people in here. Back to you, Rick and Brenda. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to you too. And I kudo everybody. What Ed said, what Darlene said, what Glenn said, with everybody who spoke. Kudos, kudos, kudos. Because I was sitting having a conversation with my cousin. Now, my cousin has watched Rick and I for years in this travel business because she follows us on Facebook. And so she wants to do a cruise with some girlfriends of hers. They have this birthday club, girlfriends, everybody who was born in 59. So they have this club where they all go and celebrate each person's birthday on the month or the day or whatever. But anyway, they want to do a cruise. So I said, oh yeah, the Carnival cruise is right out of here. You guys can go on down to the Bahamas for the weekend and come back, because they're all still working, except I don't know how many, some of them are retired, but some of them are still working a 9 to 5. And so I said, well, you could do that. I said, okay, I'll put it together. She said, no, I want to go with me and my husband. I said, okay, I'll put something together and let you know. She went, you know, I need to do something. I think I want to do that. And just like you did, Darlene, I just changed the subject. I did not get excited. I did not go, what? When you want to get started? No. Because if she really wants it, she'll come back again. And I think when we have that attitude, people will come back. It's when we start pouncing that they get all nervous. Oh, why? I don't know if I want to do that. If she wants it, she'll come back again. And that's how we have to pretty much put it out there for everyone. Because like you said, Ed, people won't change until their situations and changes. Because if they're comfortable and they're happy and they're not what they call hungry, they're not going to be looking for anything. And like you said, Glenn, pay attention to what the people with the money do. Because the people with the money, they know exactly, they're the ones that's orchestrating everything. They are the directors. There's only 3 or 4 suits that really command the world. And once we get an idea of that, because that's really true, they're the ones that really control everything. And they see ahead, they know what's happening ahead. And like Maya Angelou said, when you see something, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. So when you get a glimpse of something small that's happening, just like writing things down, exactly how you want it. And don't worry about the journey. Just get excited about the outcome. If we get excited about the outcome, we cannot pay attention to the journey, because Rick's made a few changes, and I think was a good thing, because now we're seeing this. This lady has been in our life for a good 3 years, and when she came on board, when we first was introduced to her, well, Rick was introduced to her, she came in with, oh, I want to do this. I think this travel business is something that I want to do. And then it's almost, Rick became her little spiritual guide. You know, she'd call with issues and he'd help her pray through it. And that just went on and on and on. So I don't know about Rick, but I kind of said, okay, I don't think she's going to be the one, she'll probably just, be someone that God has put you in their life for spiritual guidance. And there's a lot of people in all of our lives that the only thing they're here for. They call when they're down, they call when they need prayer, they call when different things are happening in their life, and you don't see them as a business partner. But we don't know. Her circumstances changed, and now it's like, okay, I want to do this now before I blow this money like I did before, and people know how they do and what they do. And so when they're ready to make a change and do something and be taught, because see, that's another thing. Folks, and it's regardless of their age, because you could get some 16-year-olds who think they know everything and nobody can tell them anything. So regardless of their age, you want someone who's coachable, who's approachable, someone who's ready to learn what to do and how to do. Because when you run up with people who, I got this, I can do this, I get it, I got it. It's going to be, you look at them like, but you don't know what you don't know. And since you don't know, you should listen. That's why I'm like the poster child for learning something new every day, because we don't know what we don't know. And if we knew what we didn't know, we would know it. So since that's not the case, I can't use that one because I know I can change the tire, but I could not go into an engine of a car and say, I'm going to go ahead and take out this converter belt, and then I'm going to take this out and put this here. And then I have no idea what that's all about. I can probably get a little bit of information on YouTube, but I would need an expert, a mechanic, to do it for me or to show me. So you don't know what you don't know. And that's just one thing. There's so many things out there that we don't know. I could not be a heart surgeon. I would not have a clue. As soon as they cut and the blood come out, I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do now? So recognizing your limitations will allow you to move forward. So when you're working with people, if they recognize that they don't know and they're willing to learn and be coachable, that's the person that's going to go the farthest in this business. So that's why my hat is off to Chantel, because that girl will find somebody doing a presentation. She will find somebody talking about something. And then she'll call me, did you hear what Kelly? Or she'll send me a text, did you hear what Kelly did? I'm like, no, but I'm quite sure you did.
You just reminded me. I'm telling you, this brother is doing his dance in the heavenlies, but we had this bad boy to the bone who had, I don't know how many hats Mr. Shepherd had on, as far as he had every degree and he was in ministry. He was loaded. But when he walked in the door and saw Glenn sitting in that seat at Allen Realty, and he said, what you doing here, man? And he told him, and he said, they started talking, and then he told him what we were doing. He said, hey, I want to see that. Come on over to the house. Boom, boom, boom. We connected. And when we got up in there and he looked at this, you know what he said? And he was the principal also, okay? He says, I don't know that right there. He said, I don't know that. With all these degrees I have, and you know what? He was neck to neck with us in every bonus that we received. Are you hearing me? He was running so hard and had Glenn running all over the state. And I was excited because I was just watching those brothers just hang out, have fun. And that meeting was exploding in Lakewood. I woke up with that this morning. All this stuff was just shooting through my brain. I'm like, oh my goodness. That meeting was so exciting. People were coming from across the bridge. It was 100 room and we had it filled up. Okay. And Mr. Shepherd and Glenn would get up there and share. And I'm telling you, they would feed off each other. They were synchronized in movement. And they actually had a chance to go to Coach's birthday bash because we were so busy building in his team building group that he hit the birthday bash and took his family. I said, this thing works, people. If you will be teachable, coachable, trainable, and let somebody help you see something that's right in your hand. And that's what he did. That's what he did. One of the most wonderful people I have ever met on the face of the earth. What a gift because you need that energy with you. You know what I mean? When you're building and you got somebody over here running with you and you're like, okay, they over there. Okay, they done did this. Okay, I can do that too. Hello, why not? Let's go, right? That was it. That was him.
You
And
know,
then his wife, on the other hand, who has the same, all these degrees, she says, no, this is what we're going to do. I'm giving this 1 year and shut everything else down. And guess what? When 1 year came, boom, done. So what you are speaking is real, real, real. So if you don't change whatever's coming out of your mouth, and that's what I did the other day, because I was in an uproar with myself. Like, what is going on with you? But I knew what it was. You know, I know what it was. And I said, you got to focus on the main thing. And do you know those bonuses and all those extra incomes that are coming in? Everybody's getting something out of this. Even down to Coach Tomer, who is still, do you know Coach Tomer is still a rep? Do you understand what that means for his family and his generation? He is still getting percentages off of this company, people. That's what we're talking about, legacy building. That's what we've been shown. Why not do it? Because we want to. All right, back to you, Rick and Brenda.
hey, you know what Chantel is saying, Dwayne was coachable and teachable, even with all the degrees that he had. He was a professional basketball player. The brother was 6'8", 6'8.5", something like that. Just and just super disciplined. But he knew what he didn't know. He knew what he didn't know, and he just totally submitted to learning the business. He went in deep with it, like he did with everything else. He went and learned the tax codes, and I mean, he got the books by the experts and learned everything about the taxes. That was one of the portions that he brought, you know, to the table, and it's just such an exciting time and that we had. And you know, when he went to be home with the Lord, we were all shocked. But you know, we could have thrown in the towel, in the hat, whatever. But you know, life continues on, and so the thing is, you just never give up hope. You know, Rick and Brenda, Rick hit that guy that brought all those people, thousands of people into their team. You know, when we shifted to Surge, they could have thrown in the hat. I mean, Coach could have thrown in the hat and rode off into the sunset. But you know, staying the course, faithfulness is rewarded. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
Faithfulness is rewarded. Go ahead, Brenda.
That's true. No, I was just agreeing with the fact that is so true. Faithfulness is rewarded. And that's what we do. It's almost like our team. And yeah, Glenn, we could have handed in our card or whatever the case may be and just kind of traveled and relaxed and did nothing. But we had a team that still wanted it, right? That still wants to achieve, that still have goals and dreams. And I have them too, because level 8 has my name on it, and I'm just gonna soar right through it, just like we did the first time. We had no control over our how we were getting promoted and how we would go to different events and they would call our name. We had somebody who was in our team, and he said, "Are you guys planning on taking every reward that they're offering?" And I said, "Well, we didn't think about it." And as soon as he said that, they called our name again. And we went up again and got another. And it was one of those days where when they had a convention where it was like, "Oh, wow, really, really?" And we were sitting back being quiet, because I'm one where I want the money, but I don't need the fame. Because see, fame it just limits everything for you. Once you're famous and everybody knows who you are, you can't just walk into a Target and just kind of walk around and see what's in there. You couldn't do that. You have to pretty much now have a clothes maker or a designer come to your house. You tell them what you like, they shop for you, or you're on the internet shopping. You can't just go to a mall and walk around and see stuff, because that fame takes away your, what's that word? Anonymity, I think. So I want the cash. I don't need the fame. And that's how it was when we first started. We were our bonuses, and we were hitting more than the people who had the title of director. Rick and I would go to events, and it was so funny because we would sit in the back and we would watch this guy who we sponsored. Everybody was hail to him, and to the point where they thought he brought us in because he was just loving the fame and the attention that he was getting. And we would sit there like, "You hungry? Yeah, let's go get lunch." We would ease out.
Sneak out the back door.
Out, go get lunch. We used to go out the back door. Nobody missed us. Nobody knew who we were.
Man, see, that's how you want to do it. That's how you want to do it.
And we loved it.
We loved it. It's like, let our 10 directors, we had 10 directors under us.
And they loved the fame.
And they loved the fame. They loved the limelight. And we loved the override and the checks. and no responsibility. And then when the company went through what they went through, then and all the rats jumped the ship. Then we said, Brenda,
showed up.
The people are still here. We didn't even know them. They didn't know us. And but we had a responsibility to them. We had a responsibility of leadership. And so we said, okay, let's go to work. And when I said that, and the Lord said, build a nest, and I will continue to draw the people. And so when he said that, he said, I'll give you the websites. And so he downloaded the websites, ETTC, the previous website, to goteamget.com. And so he built the infrastructure. He built the foundation. And he said, once you build the foundation, the nest, I'll send the people. You see, and that was a foundation not only for the business, but for the marketplace ministry. So he said, build the foundation for the marketplace. See, God will answer your request for information, specific information. So when all the leaders jumped ship, when the previous company was going through the different trials, Brenda and I said, okay, now we need to step in and first of all, meet these people and take over in leadership. We still don't want the fame, but we have a responsibility to these people who have generations that they are responsible to. We need to help them. And the people stayed when the leaders left. There's a responsibility that everybody has on this call to leadership, because we are here before the team to prepare for when the team comes. And in that preparation and willingness to take responsibility in that preparation, God will send the people. He sends the people based on our willingness to take responsibility. And if we're not willing to take responsibility, we will get onesie-twosie, because that's the level of responsibility. God will not promote you beyond your level of competence or incompetence. And if you want more, become more, and that's just how it works. And so when the leaders left, and that's why I told Coach, I said, Coach, these folks think that they're really the leaders. We're allowing them their leadership. I'm the leader. I brought them in and under Christ. I'm the real leader, Coach. He looked at me like, sure, you're right. Sure, right. But that's how things are. And I was listening on the call, and people don't change their habits until their situation forces them to change or leads them to the change. I think, Brenda, you said that. And then the other thing that you said, Brenda, which was really powerful, recognize that it is your limitations that are the opportunity to move forward. They're not the opportunity for you to stay in place. But when you
say that again, wow.
It's your limitations that give you an opportunity to move forward, not to stay in the same place. When you have an understanding of learning something new, So your limitation is really just identifying, like you said, and knowing what you don't know, you know. And so your limitations are there to identify what you really don't know and to take the opportunity to learn something new so that you can move to your next place versus staying in your old place. And you were saying this, Ed, your faithfulness is rewarded because you're legacy building. And whatever information you need is downloaded. I've got a good friend who works with this company, corporate international corporation. And we've been just playing back and forth on that performance, image, and exposure pie, and understanding that everything moves by relationships. And he gets moved by the Lord at the corporate. He's become a director in this international company, and he's always been doing major things. And he says, Rick, all I do is ask the Lord to download, like you say, Glenn, the Matrix, to download what I need. And in this international corporation, he's winning. He wins award after award after award. He works with teams overseas to help them win awards. And all he's doing is asking the Lord to download specific information and to find the real answer to whatever problem. And they can't figure him out. And so over years, over like 10 years, he's been the bosses have been taking his information, his successes, and getting promoted. I said, it's okay, Tim. It's all right. You may know him as Tim Hobbs. It's okay, Tim. Just continue to learn. It's all right. Just continue to grow. Continue to develop that path of success. That legacy of success. Continue. Just do what you do that God has put before you. And about a year ago, they promoted him to director. And see, God is preparing us if we realize, let me let this person in. If we realize and understand that God is preparing us and accepting the preparation, and God is checking us out to see if we're responsible at whatever level of competence we want to go to and grow to. Are we responsible with the little things? And if we're not responsible with the little things, you could just hold it right there. And that's okay. But if God has called you to the deep, be willing to realize that God will give you whatever you need to go to the deep. It's not something that you get. It's something that is granted. It's something that is given. Brenda and I go to the deep only because, Father, you take control. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. And it's just a willingness. The Lord said, Rick, you just have to be willing. I may or may not do this or that. You just have to be willing to go whichever way. And whichever way that is, I will provide whatever it is you need. See, that's everybody on this call. And so when you see us in this business, and we all are in this business, and we're on a special team, the Holy Ghost team. And even from the meeting that we all cried at when Coach passed the torch to Scott and Chris, and Coach prayed over us. That is a legacy that has been passed down to our team. And Glenn, of course, when we had Coach's military retirement, think about that, at a convention. We did a military retirement for Coach at a convention, which sealed the deal of his retirement with him being a military man. And they allowed us to do that. It's funny when they was getting ready to put the music on and stop. I said, no, we're not done yet. Music shuts off. Boom. Brenda takes the famous pictures, but we did the military retirement. That torch, when Coach hugged me on that stage, when he came up to that stage, walking like a military man with his shoulders up, his chin out, walking straight. Scott told me afterwards, he said, we hadn't seen Coach walk like that in years.
Stand up that straight. Stand up that
Stand up
straight.
that straight and walking like a
Mhm.
military guy with his hands, boom, 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 boom. But when he gave me that hug, that was a transfer of an anointing. That was it Joshua, Elijah transfer of spiritual anointing and power to carry on the torch, the spiritual torch, the loving heart torch, the coach attitude torch to people. We are the holders of that. And see, and that's why we can't help but get into responsible positions based on and growth based on our level of competency. Not everybody on this call is called to be that leader, that eighth level director. I mean, if you want it, you can, but not everyone has that. You don't have to. But if you feel a calling to that level of leadership, the things that we're doing on our team gets you to that level. What are the things we're doing? When you see that video, if you've seen it, the multiple uses of Surge 365, family use. You're going to find people that are looking to use it for family. The perpetual fundraising solution use for churches and nonprofits and schools. The corporate business value, the corporate business travel use, turning travel expenses into revenue. The career opportunities in hospitality and tourism use. This is vocational training, and that people can actually use to get skills that pay the bills. Some people just want to travel. The members discount use. Like you were saying, Glenn, taxes and benefits. Some people just want the tax write-offs and the benefits of having a business. The self-employment use, going in business for yourself, the personal development. All the things we're talking about now are personal development. The home travel business use. This is a real travel agency. The military vets use. Vets may have an income, but they don't have a skill set, that continues on. And to be able to get all the write-offs. The network marketing use. I brought in a network marketer. He brought 7,000 people to the team. The special abilities, travel certification. I'm a scoot around expert specialist where I have access to the motor scooters and that. That's a huge industry. The medical tourism use, which is another huge industry as more and more Americans are going out of the country to get medical procedures, and they're staying in those countries until they heal. Ron right now is going to Mexico in March with the team, and that's following an operation, a knee operation, and so he's going to be using that to heal in Mexico. The virtual assistant career use. There's people that are becoming virtual assistants. That's $75,000 a year as a career. And we're saying, hey, as a virtual assistant, a lot of these companies are outsourcing different things that they do to make sure they don't get distracted. Travel is one. And so people are coming in, virtual assistants are getting a travel agency, a Surge 365 business, and they're taking on that responsibility to advertise what they do to these companies that don't want to do their travel. And they're doing it from home. These are the things that take us to director level 8. Not just, chasing down people. Queen just brought on board a professional chef, Chef Maurice. He just joined yesterday. And he's at Hell's Kitchen today. They invite him around the world, right? Around the world. I don't know if Queen is on, but they invite him around the world to speak and to cook. And so when he joined yesterday, so he joins yesterday, and he cooks for Ron, Queen, Victoria. He cooks a special dinner for them. And so we had scheduled a time and they had just arrived at 2:45 Eastern yesterday, and over Ron's house. And so Chef Maurice said, Rick, I'm going to cook them a five-star, 5-course dinner, you know. And so I said, well, let's just hold off the meeting, and you guys can call me back afterwards, you know, to get signed up. And they called me back telling me what they had. I have to tell you, I had to contain my queen. I had to contain myself. A hungry man. They telling me this 5-course, you know, 5-star dinner. I was like, Lord, help me. We was down there in Buffalo. They was in Buffalo, you know, back in May. I was like, man, I sure wish I was there. But these are the things. And so Chef Maurice he has a fan following. And I was telling him the Vortex ad for fundraising to get that to all your fans. We're going to do a seminar at sea where he's a chef and he's going to be cooking. You know, these are the special things that our team does, not just recruiting people, but using the tool Surge 365. Back to you, Brenda.
Hey, Rick, you know,
Yeah.
it really was the transfer of that mantle, because that's what really, that was the binding tie when we first came into YTB, and I was looking through that site. And the first weekend we came into YTB, we spent the entire weekend just going through the sites and seeing all of the different ways that you could earn and the goods and services. And what really caught my eye when I clicked on it was a tab called Passport to Giving. And see, I'm presuming that Coach put that in place. And then it kind of went away after a while. It never took off. But see, that vision and the mantle was handed over. Rick took that thing to the next level and expanded it because, as Brenda says, that's some of the things he does, and he does it for fun. You know what I mean? With that engineer brain of his. But all of the other programs and the research that it took to put your what do you call it? The jobs available in the travel industry, career opportunities in the travel industry, and that he's already, and it's all sitting right there in one spot and just ready to blast off. There's been things, COVID and what have you, things you couldn't, it's timing and it's God's timing, but more so than ever now, and it's not going to let up. It's time to move right now, the urgency. But that mantle was handed over, and it's been taken to the next level. The other thing I just want to pass along was some wisdom that I was told. Just some of the things that you do, great things can happen when either through partnerships. So what he said was your weaknesses, whatever weaknesses you have when you're running your business or organization, you either go hire your weakness or you partner with it. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow, that was good. That was good. Say hire it or partner with it, because and you know what too, Glenn, that is so true, because you have to know your weakness. See, that's another thing too. People don't want to acknowledge that they're weak in something, or they don't want to do it. Because I'll call Rick in a minute. How do you copy this to make sure that's print? Because and he shows me every time. Babe, go here, go there. You know. So when you acknowledge what you're not strong in, and then you're willing, but see, that goes right back to what we talked about earlier, being teachable, being coachable, being willing to learn. When you have, like that gentleman that you guys talked about who had all those PhDs and all those degrees, he knew what his limitations were, and he was very much coachable and willing to learn. See, when you find somebody like that, that's a gold mine waiting to happen, because he will walk in the room. They say if you walk in a room and you're the smartest person, you need to get in another room, because you want to be able to get in a room where you are learning and you study yourself to learn and to be quiet and wait and listen. So Wow. Anybody else? Because we have these great
Brenda,
conversations.
that's
Go ahead,
something that
honey.
when doors open and we invite the team in and we're very specific about what we're doing. And we coach them ahead of time and say, when you get in those rooms, this is not the time when you start shooting off running your mouth and this is when you're sitting quietly taking notes, because that's what we're doing. If we're doing that, duplicate your leaders. This is how you go higher. You got to duplicate if that's your desire. You get to do it because you're the boss of this. This is yours. But we get in there and we sit and we're listening. And I'm telling you, this is how it has happened for us every time. We'll get in there and we'll sit down, and then they'll come. You come up here, sit over here. We trying to hide back here. We gonna sit way in the back.
Right.
No, you're not. Come sit right here. I'm like, Lord Jesus, come on now. And I'm telling you, but just sitting quietly, because we're partnering with relationships. Sometimes we're just sitting in here and we're trying to get our composure, like right now. We got pushed up on all of this because we were just trying to get our composure right now. And he said, enough of that sitting. I need you to rise up because I got some more things that you need to do right now before the new year kicks in. There are families waiting who need some extra $500 like next week. I mean, they're desperate. And all of us are sitting up in here with a tool. Just like the lady I was talking to, she says, you know what? I need some extra. And this sounds like a lot of fun. And I remember another gentleman that came into our business. Matter of fact, we met a young man, and I remember he's from New Orleans, and he's the one I was telling you, Rick, he had put that card in so many times, and then I said, stop, because I didn't want him to get too frustrated. I said, just stop. We'll come back. Check with your bank and all that. This guy's from New Orleans. We went with Coach on his birthday bash. 300 of us, are you hearing me, went to New Orleans for the Breakthrough Convention. I will never forget this convention because Ava was up in there, Jason was up in there, some other ones. But I'm telling you, it's the after party. But when we got on that cruise ship with Coach, I think it was about 200 of us on the ship. And we had those T-shirts on. The people like, who are they? Who are those people? And I'm telling you, when I walked around the corner and there was Rick sitting at the table, Rick and Brenda sitting at the table with Coach. And then I just sat down. I didn't say a word. We got to get good with this. Just listen. I'm just sitting there, and Rick starts telling Coach his vision and what he's doing with his vision, with what Glenn just talked about. Because this is Coach's vision, right? To go out here and touch that. That's Coach's vision. When I saw the light bulb that came, Coach lit up like I'm telling you, the joy that came in his whole composure. Miss Chris was sitting right beside him. I will never forget that. But we got to be in those moments. Coach Tomer was our coach. He was our personal coach, and he was also our director at one time. But he coached us personally. We have history with Coach Tomer. Coach's Corner. We got those jackets. We have to be in the room. Now, whatever you do, that's yours. It's your business. You can choose. But I'm going to tell you what. We can't get those moments back. We can't get that back. But we can get today. I heard Sarita Jakes last night. I was listening to this clip that went by. She has gone through a lot right now. I'm telling you, they're at the top of life. So there will be opposition on you. And here this lady is sitting in this convention with about 40,000 people, sitting with this cane. And I'm in here like, are you serious? And you know what she said? She said, I came up in here with this cane because I had to be in this room. I had to be in the room with my legacy. When she takes her stand, I have to be in the room with her. Come on, legacy builders. And I sat there and I was like, I know what you're talking about. But we get to make the decision. Are we going to push through that pain? Are we going to push through that little so-called what they call a limitation? Because it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. I'm telling you because I'm living this thing. And you have to keep adding to you. You have to keep the reading, the listening to it, whatever lifts you up above that. That's what I do. If I don't do that every day, I'm not getting up. I'm gonna sit right in that chair. I am so serious because I'm like, I don't have the energy for that. But he will help you if you take 1 foot forward. I'm telling you what we're living here. He's like, you're the leaders. I chose you for this. You are going into this marketplace and you were equipped for that. Don't ask me how he equipped us because I'm just sitting in the room with Glenn. I'm like, I'm not trying to be in this room. And he said, yes, you are, because I put you in here. And you just sit there and be quiet. And when it's your time to speak, open your mouth. Other than that, just sit there because you got his back covered. That's right. Okay? You can go in any room you want to. Back to you, Rick and Brenda. It is a decision.
And you know what is
It's
so
a
beautiful
decision.
is that you can, since God is doing it, you can sit there until he gives you instructions. And that may be however long. But when he gives you, be seeking the instructions. And when he gives you instructions, do what he tells you to do. The Lord said to me one time, he said, Rick, I need you to learn how to rest until I give you instructions on what to do. But I said, well, you know what? I don't want to miss you. He said, you couldn't miss me if you try, because remember, your thoughts come to me first. But he will give you instructions. If you have an open mind and you're willing, he will show you what to do. If you're not just running out there trying to do something that will become busy work if he didn't tell you what to do, but if you can sit before him, like you're saying, Chantel, and just stay before him and wait for specific instructions, see, you'll have total confidence in that. That won't be like you're trying to do something and going uphill, trying to do it. No, you are already equipped and prepared for that. And whatever you don't have, like you said, Glenn, you partner. He'll send someone that can partner to do what it is you can't do. And when I did that, and I said, Lord, who are these people? It's not my family. It's not my friends. It's not my church. It's not anybody. I don't even know. It's not my community. Who are these people that are to go with me? He says, Rick, I will send. He sends a guy that brings 7,000 people to the team doing something that there's no way I could have done. But like you're saying, Glenn, he will send the partners to do if there first be but a willing mind. Back to you, Brent.
Wow, that's true. Wow. Anybody else?
Yes, Brenda. Kudos to the Reese's and the Aidens on their getting their money. And also I want to say, this morning I heard on the news, in the Bahamas, there was a group that, you know how they go on excursions, and they all went. It was over 100 people on this boat. They were going over to another island for some excursion that they were doing, and it started taking on water and it sank, and there was over 100 people on this boat, and one person died. And I was just praying that, pray for all the people that were involved, and also hopefully it wasn't a group that was put together through surge or Travmanity. So
yeah,
that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say a prayer for
Father,
them.
we just want to pray right now, Lord, for the families, for the survivors, Father, for the lady that lost her life. We just want to lift it up to you, and we just ask, Father, your comfort in this situation. And Father, we just ask, Lord, that your hand, Father, just cover all that are involved, and that you would give them peace, Lord, in this tragedy, and recovery in this tragedy. And we just want to thank you, Father, because we know that you are always present and that you are always there. And Father, so we release it and turn it over to you in your divine wisdom, and Father, in your divine peace. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, and everyone have the blessed rest of your week. And I'm hopefully wishing and praying that we continue our sunshine here in Washington State for the rest of the week.
and it shall be. It shall be. Nothing but sunshine.
So shall it.
But next week, of course, it's Thanksgiving, so we won't be in the call. We'll be knee deep in turkey and all kinds of food in Oklahoma, Nebraska. No,
Ah,
yeah. Is it? Where are we
Nebraska.
going? Oh yeah, Nebraska.
Off of
So
Nebraska.
that's where we. Oh yeah,
Up to the
yeah. That's where
cold
we'll
country.
be. We're going to cold country, so we did save some cold clothes, so we'll be good. We'll have our sweaters and everything. But I just love these calls that we have because we learn so much, and I'm all about learning, and everybody has so much knowledge, and we are the company of hope, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we call forth the people that are willing to be learned, to be coached, and have a desire and a hunger to get their family in a financial situation where they want them to be, just that generational wealth, and so we just love our company because of that. We have the tools to make that happen. So just go ahead, write it down, make it plain, speak it out, watch it happen. So everybody have a great rest of your day, like Darlene said, and then make sure you enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family, and reach out and just say hi to people, because that's a great reason to say hi and thankful and ask them how they're doing, because a lot of people are, during this time of the season, they're alone and they don't know how to reach out. So when someone's picture, name, you think about them, reach out to them, ask them how they're doing, because you'd be surprised how lonely people are during this time of the season. So everyone have a great rest of your day, and we will not speak next Thursday, but the following Thursday. So we
amen.
will be talking soon. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving.